It was meant to be an ordinary Saturday night, nothing unusual, just a simple evening at home. I had planned a quiet dinner, hoping to relax after a long and exhausting week. But that night didn't unfold the way I imagined. It changed everything. Ethan and I had been together for more than 2 years. When I walked in, I found him sitting on the couch, his eyes narrowing as though he already knew something was wrong. The guilt hit me instantly. He had always been able to see through me, to sense what I was feeling without me saying a word. There was no hiding from him. But I wasn't prepared for what came next. Ethan had always been the partner I dreamed of, caring, patient, supportive. Our relationship wasn't perfect, but I believed in us. That evening, however, his face betrayed emotions I had rarely seen before. Disbelief, hurt, and disappointment all tangled together. He didn't raise his voice, didn't shed a tear. Instead, he spoke softly but firmly. "I trusted you, and you broke that trust." The weight of those words crushed me. I knew there was no explanation I could give that would erase what I had done. He just stared at me, waiting, though I could tell he had already made up his mind. We shared a small apartment in the city, and despite occasional arguments, I had convinced myself we were happy. I hadn't realized I was about to destroy that belief completely. It had all begun with a lie I thought was harmless. But instead of leaving in anger or lashing out, he simply stood, turned away, and walked to the bedroom. He shut the door quietly, without another word. And in that silence, I understood, he had already let go. That was the hardest part to accept. He didn't fight for us, didn't demand answers, didn't even ask me to try and fix it. He just left me with the reality of my choices. I stayed frozen on the couch, trying to process what had just unraveled before me. The stillness in the apartment felt unbearable, like a constant reminder of what I had lost. Hours dragged on as I waited, hoping he would come back out, say something, anything. But he never did. The door stayed closed, and my attempts to reach out to him were met with silence. By then, it was clear. Ethan wasn't just behind that door, he was gone. What we once had was gone too. And I realized that losing him wasn't only about the mistake I made, but about the fact that I hadn't fought hard enough to keep him when it mattered most. That night, I eventually drifted to sleep on the couch, the weight of regret pressing down heavier than any blanket. A glass or two of wine dulled the edges of the pain, but it couldn't erase the truth. I had broken something that could never be put back together. I decided to meet up with someone I hadn't seen in years, James, an old friend from college. Back then, we had been close, but life, relationships, and time had pulled us apart. When he reached out, I felt a mix of nerves and excitement. The idea of catching up, sharing memories, and slipping back into that familiar ease seemed harmless enough. We chose a bar not far from my place. I told Ethan I was meeting a friend, though I kept the details vague, thinking it would be easier that way. The evening with James was effortless. We laughed, reminisced, and for a while it felt like no time had passed. The connection was still there, undeniable. It didn't feel wrong in the moment, yet I knew it wasn't the wisest choice. We ended the night with a hug and a promise to stay in touch. That should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. When I got home later than expected, Ethan was waiting. His voice was calm but cold. "I saw you." My heart sank. I tried to brush it off, asked what he meant, but his answer cut through me. "At the bar. With James." I froze. How did he know? Was he following me? Desperately, I said I didn't think he'd mind, but even I didn't believe my own words. Ethan stood there, his face drained of color. He wasn't angry. That would have been easier. Instead, his eyes held something far heavier, hurt. "I never thought you would do this," he whispered, his voice unsteady. I wanted to explain, to apologize, but no words would come. The next morning, I woke to find him gone. His clothes, his belongings, all packed away. On the table sat a single note. "I can't do this anymore. I can't be with someone who doesn't respect me." That was the last I ever heard from him. What shattered me most wasn't that he left, but the silence that followed. The weeks blurred together as I replayed every mistake, every lie, every choice that had led me here. And I finally understood. Heartbreak isn't always about betrayal. It's often about the quiet acceptance that something has been broken beyond repair.